What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Office Hour Tangents. And I am Brandan Craft. And just the real quick premise of this podcast, once again, it's Office Hour Tangents. I usually come straight from class and I talk about the tangents that I may or may have not went off on in class in the Office Hour Tangents. But I'm on summer break, as evidenced by my garb. So I guess this would be summer hour tangents, I guess. So it's no classes going on. I'm not teaching any classes right now. I kind of use this time to kind of like decompress my brain, kind of decompress and then recharge it and come up with different ideas and new things and new directions I want to take for the next school year. But right now, I'm just kind of like in my brainstorm mode. I'm kind of in my I don't know what to do with myself mode. Like, I'm just basically this summer have been a Uber driver for my son Breaker and just taking him to basketball practices and camps and tournaments and all that good stuff. But in the meantime, I'm trying to play video games more because video games is one of the few things I can do that kind of stops my mind from racing. And I don't play video games as much as I used to at all, but I still follow gaming a lot. And I just kind of use it as a window into the future. That's how I kind of look at videos, like a window into the future. So today I'm going to talk about video games a little bit, but I'm also going to touch on just a current event. And I try not to go too current event-y with these podcasts because, you know, living on YouTube and podcast land, you know, I think your episodes should be just kind of timeless. It shouldn't be like the news where yesterday's news is not even worth watching because today's news may trump yesterday's news. But this one was kind of groundbreaking because, you know, I'm a hip hop head. And last night, so I'm not going to say the date, but last night, so check it out on YouTube if you haven't seen it, Amazon Prime. Kendrick Lamar threw a concert in Inglewood last night on Juneteenth. And it was amazing. It was amazing. I'm not going to do a commentary on it, but I did want to touch on, and I forgot the notes I made. I did want to touch on something that I observed in it. And the one thing I wanted to attack is that there was many things that I came away with after that concert. One being just hype as hell, but another thing was that was this whole, not just that concert, that whole Drake K-Dot beef. I don't know this for sure. I'm not that guy, but it just seems now that it was very, 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 very much planned. Maybe both of them, but definitely on Kendrick Lamar's side. Like, it makes me think that the whole entire sequence of events was planned, like chess versus checkers type thing. Because last night they did this concert in Inglewood in the Forum, basically the arena that the Lakers used to play in. And from my understanding, you can't just get venues like that last minute. Like that disc just happened like a couple months ago. And if this all happened organically and freestyly, then he would have had to secure that venue like 2 weeks ago. And like, hey, I need a last minute secure the venue, get security, get planning, get advertisements, get all the artists. There was so many dope artists on stage. There were so many dope people in the audience. It was just like the setup was perfect. It wasn't like thrown together at all. So that makes me think that this whole thing has been planned. Either it is the Juneteenth angle of it was planned. So just to recap, he had, a bunch of people on stage from different sets, and he called them different sets. But for those who don't know, like different gangs, right? So he had Bloods, Crips, all these other people on stage, and they were together and they weren't fighting. They were kicking it and they were having fun. It was like a unified West Coast type of thing. That doesn't happen last minute. So that might have been planned a while ago, and then the Drake thing just kind of like happened during that time, and then they just kind of like put it all together. But if you watch K-Dot's performance last night, he opened up with a few Drake disses. He basically did all the Drake disses. He opened up with a few and he closed with a few. And he closed with They Not Like Us, and he played that thing like 17 times in a row. It was like 5 times in a row, but it felt like 17. And it was fresh every time he did it. and it just seemed like it was planned, like the Drake diss, Juneteenth, West Coast. It was just like chess versus checkers. It was like Drake might have been sitting home like, okay. Like, didn't see that coming, almost feeling stupid. Like, I should have saw that coming. It's almost like J. Cole saw it coming. Not just from the nastiness. I thought he dropped out because of the nastiness. And I still contend he probably dropped out because he could see it about to get super nasty, super ugly. And he dropped out because of that. But he might have dropped out because he could have sensed, because he's in the industry, that there was a lot more going on beyond what was going on. So, and Drake may or may not have felt this, but I bet last night he was looking at it like, okay, you got me. Like, this is planned. K-Dot, he made what that event bigger. He made it bigger, more exciting, more everything on Drake's back. That's what it was. It's almost like that, I'll be watching National Geographic sometime, and they had this insect. I thought they call it the zombie something insect, and this insect does something. He grabs another insect or a frog or something like that, gets a frog or some kind of bigger insect or amphibian, and he injects it with some kind of whatever, and then this thing turns into a zombie for that insect or this whatever bacteria is in them, and they just start kind of like doing stuff for the insect. Maybe it's a spider. I think it's a spider. And then this insect ends up laying eggs inside the body of this living being, and it's a zombie, and that's how I felt like K-Dot may have done Drake. Like, just used him. He just used him. And Drake, if anything this morning, he should feel used. So that was my commentary on that. I don't think I had any like other observations other than, I did have some other observations as far as like socially, as far as hip hop culture is concerned. But I don't need to get into that. But video games. So one particular video game I want to talk about today, and it's Grand Theft Auto. So I talk about Grand Theft Auto to whomever will listen, because I feel like Grand Theft Auto is the closest thing to Ready Player One that we have right now. Grand Theft Auto, specifically Grand Theft Auto RP, for the Grand Theft Auto 5 RP. RP standing for role play, meaning people go on this game, and I'm going to talk about what is a game going forward, but they go into this game, and instead of like playing the game, they're in there just kind of like living. I won't say living, because that offends some people. They're in there hanging out. They're just really in there chilling and hanging out. So as I'm talking, I'm going to pull up the split screen. And of course, the split screen is, because my computer is off. Again, it's summer hours. So there we go. So I'm just in here. I didn't even plan this. I'm just in here like riffing. So I'm going to play this. So as I'm talking, I want to just set the stage. Over there is footage on YouTube just of Grand Theft Auto RP. Somebody just playing it. And, there's thousands and thousands in there playing it at one time. You can just go into YouTube, type in GTA RP or Twitch GTA RP and just observe. Now, what I am observing, and this is sometimes what I do just chilling at the crib, and I kind of watch this like I watch shows. And I don't have the volume because, a lot of these servers, the language is ornery. This is like the Wild Wild West out there. So I don't want to offend anybody with the language. I just kind of want to describe what's going on. This is Grand Theft Auto 5, but it's Grand Theft Auto RP that is hosted on a server. Usually somebody that's hosting a server or a company, but it's somebody's server, and there's like thousands and thousands of servers out there that host Grand Theft Auto RP. And on these servers are like almost like neighborhoods. So servers have different rules. Like on this server, they might be doing RP, which is role playing. On another server, they might be doing, deathmatch. On another server, they might be doing just races. There's a lot of ones that they just race. They just use it as a racing game. That's the kind of genius of Grand Theft Auto, is that it's basically like all games rolled up in one. Like you can golf, you can race, you can shoot, you can even play basketball a little bit. You can play tennis. I mean, there's so much things you can do in Grand Theft Auto. You can gamble, you can play craps, blackjack, all that good stuff. So what's happening is what you're watching now on the screen is just people. All those are real people. None of those are NPCs, non-playable characters. All of those are real people online hanging out. So it gets me into this thing like, is this a video game? Because I'm finding it hard to call this a video game now, specifically GTA RP. And there are other video games. There are other games out there. There are other games. I would call them game engines. So basically, this GTA is an engine, and these individuals are on there just experiencing the engine. They're in there just kind of hanging out, using the engine. It's kind of like if you're in, I'm trying to think of it like a real world. Like if you just go to the mall, like basically back in the day, 16 years old, I got a license and no money. Where can I go and what can I do? It's like the mall. It's like I can park, walk around the mall, see people hang out with no money and just to hang out. And this is what people are doing. And it's hard to say that these guys are in there playing a game. As you can see, this is a car meetup. So that's the easiest way I can get to this social, when they're just in there being social. And they do these car meetups, and in these servers, in these outside of Take-Two Interactive, that's who makes GTA, outside of their servers, in these servers, they make their own, because if you find somebody that can code C#, in Grand Theft Auto, the game, you can't have licensed vehicles. So all the vehicles in the game are like, it might look like a Mercedes, but it's not a Mercedes. It's called something else. But in this, they have real cars. They have Dodge Chargers. They have Chevy Corvettes. They have BMWs. And, they have these car meetups where they just go around and look at everybody's car, because it's almost like you got to get these cars some way. And a lot of times people pay real money to get these fake cars in Grand Theft Auto. And then they have these car shows where they can show them off to people. So right now, he just rolled up. It's almost like Crenshaw in LA or something. And, they rolled up and they're just having a hangout in the neighborhood where everybody's car is. And then I'm just going to fast forward or try to get to a space where I think they start going somewhere. So I wish, at your leisure, if you go and check out the dialogue and these dudes talking. So now they left the neighborhood, right? You can see, this is actually, you can see them driving through the city at dusk, right? Or sunrise, I don't know. And they are going to where they're going to, and I'll watch this video a little bit, where they're going to do, I forgot what they call it, when they're just spinning out in the street and everybody's just like going crazy. And slideshow, they call it the slideshows or sideshows, block takeover. So look, now they're just hanging out. He's hanging out in his car doing a slideshow, trying to impress his friends. Like that's what is beginning in these kind of video games. And like I said, video games, like what constitute what a game is. So in my mind, a game is, and this is without looking at dictionary or anything like that, a video game is something that I play in order to win or get further or get more points, or, there's an ending. I'm trying to beat the game. But these games that have been around and that are, I think you're going to see more of them, especially once I'm going to get to Grand Theft Auto 6, probably the next podcast. But there's no ending. If you get on GTA RP, it's no ending. It's no like end screen. There's no boss. There's no princess to save. There's no world to save. There's no points. Some of these might have points. I don't know, but I don't think there's no points. Like I got 1,000 points and you only got 0. I won. These are just people hanging out literally. And sometimes I see these live streams and they could stream for 6, 7. I've seen this one dude, he streamed for 20 hours straight. He's got this video. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but it was 20 hours. Zamir. That's the guy I follow. He's actually, and that guy, I like following his stream because he's just in there causing havoc. And I kind of like that in Grand Theft Auto, but he's just in there and he goes to different servers, like they're different neighborhoods. I saw one, just to give you a little story of like how this is it's like, I guess you can call it a game, but it's a game with no rules. And if the people that's playing it make their own rules. So for instance, on this one RP server, a lot of these RP servers is like gang warfare. So you have people in this neighborhood, people in this neighborhood, and they go at it. And I guess, it's supposed to be rules, but some people break the rules of the server. And it's like, maybe the rules of the server are you can't kill anybody for no reason. Right? That's Grand Theft Auto. That's what you do in Grand Theft Auto. You just kill people for no reason. So on these servers, you don't see a lot of people just killing people and crazy. That's what you would think if you're going through a Grand Theft Auto game and watch it. See people just randomly getting carjacked and killed and murdered. Nah. It's on this one, they follow the rules. And then if you don't follow the rules, it's kind of like street justice. It's weird. So anyway, one of the guys on the server killed somebody went into a group. And it was T Grizzly. I'm just calling out names. T Grizzly is a rapper from Detroit or Cleveland. I forgot. But it's somewhere up there. And he has a server and he's on there a lot. A lot of these rappers have these servers. And almost like they can wild out, but on the game, which is kind of dope, which is super dope. So they're not wilding out on the streets. So this guy didn't follow the rules. He killed somebody or do something he wanted to do. And then, which is, I guess, bad etiquette, he jumps out of the server. Basically, he logs out. So they're mad at him. They're coming to get him, and he just kills somebody, and he logs out because you can tell because they're there, and then they just disappear. It's like, poof, they're gone, right? So these guys followed him. You can't follow him. So this is kind of getting into, and I'm scatterbrained right now, but this is when you get into people talking about the metaverse and Ready Player One type things. It's different types of rules. You can't treat it like it's real life. It's different. And like the people that inhabit these worlds the most, they're going to be more adept to the server world rules or whatever. So anyway, this dude said something wrong, dipped out of the server, went to another server, which to me is almost like went to a different neighborhood. It's still Grand Theft Auto. It's still the same map, but it's different rules, different servers. So somebody went out and found these guys on another server because you can see the usernames, and I guess they probably only go to a few different servers, right? Found them, and then when you can change how you look. That's the other thing about these games. You don't have to be you. You could be whatever. You could be a clown. You could be a sloth. You could be a Mickey Mouse, and you can change at will. You can change, as people are just watching car shows or something like that. You can just see their outfits changing. You don't have to go to the house and change. You just see their shirt changing. They're just standing there and their shirt's just changing. They're changing hats. You can change your face. And then you go on these other servers disguised. But anyway, this guy found him on the other server and like planned it. It was like planned. Like, I'm gonna stalk him out. I'm gonna get his friends and I'm gonna get his, know who he's hanging out with and blah, blah, blah. And then he's live streaming all this. And then he goes and he basically kills him on the other server and starts talking stuff. And when you're dead, you're not dead in real life. So you can still talk while you're like dying in the street. And it's a different world. And all that to say is that calling this a game, calling any kind of place, even Fortnite, even Roblox, Minecraft, these kind of open world environments where people kind of go in and hang out. They're not going in and completing a mission. So if anybody is, familiar with Grand Theft Auto, you can see they're just hanging out. I'm going to see if they have some more. I have another one that's kind of like let me see, biggest car show. So I want to show this car show one just to show how these dudes just kind of just being a car show showing off stuff. So this is the guy streaming. Sometimes they have, the face of them like me right here streaming. But most of the times they just kind of have their character. But here's the dude that's actually streaming. But here's his character, right? And it's kind of like a good study of human behavior, to be honest, from a geek's perspective, from somebody like me. But see, they're just hanging out. They're just dancing, talking, smoking, right? Like you got to do all this. Some of these servers, you got to eat. Some of these servers, they have stipulations that you have to eat or you'll die. Like it'll show your health and if you're hungry or not. And if you don't eat within a amount of time, you'll just like drop dead in the street. And somebody can bring you like an apple or something and bring you back to life. There's all these different kind of rules, and it's really quite interesting. So look, this dude is just dancing in the street, hanging out. This looks like, if you just glance at it, this looks like a scene from any city in the hood or a hood, just hanging out. I mean, this might be crazy. He's not doing a head spin on the concrete. Bring out the cardboard or something. But this is a car show. Look, you got a cop there. You got cars. Let me see if there's I want to see. So this is a Grizzly server, right? And this is how they make money too. They're making money if they get how many streams? This dude has 758,000 subscribers, right? As a streamer. 68,000 views. This is 2 years old though. But once they get to a certain point, they can make money off of this. So they just sitting at home 8 hours a day streaming, and they make enough money to make a living. You have an iPhone in the game. Did you see that? Let me go right back real quick. You have an iPhone in the game. I don't know. So they bring up iPhones. You can download apps on these iPhones. You message and talk to people using your iPhone in the game. And just a little background on GTA RP. It has to be on PC. You can't play it on the Xbox, PlayStation, anything like that. It has to run on a PC because it's like a modified, almost like a hacked engine of the game. And so in my understanding of PC gaming, because I've never been a PC gamer, but I am thinking about getting the Steam Deck for the reason that there's a lot of cool, innovative stuff that are released on PC before they released on console. So when PC gamers tend to be more serious gamers, right? They tend, because it's a bigger financial commitment to game on PC. So for instance, to buy I think the most powerful system on, I would say the Xbox, right? Buy Xbox X or a PlayStation 5, which are at this point still, they would be considered like high-end PCs. Like, to buy the equivalent, and I'm not a computer geek, so don't be like, that's blah, blah, blah. But to buy an equivalently powered PC that's just as powerful as a PS5 or Xbox X, it probably costs you at least $1,000, and that's low end. If you want one of those machines that's see-through with water cooling and all the highest graphic chip and the highest thing and this and that and blah, blah, it's going to cost you at least $2,000. And that's what a serious gamer would do. They would buy a $2,000 PC because it's a PC. You can use it for other things. But I'm not going to never do that. I would never spend more than $500 for anything having to do with gaming. So if you're a PC gamer, you're a little more committed. So you'll follow rules. You'll spend 8 hours in a game. They're not really looking for casual gaming in this environment. They're looking for people that, to do all this dancing they're doing. This is just not hitting buttons. This is not like B to do a step and C to do another step. And you got to like do a lot of keyboard. They got to know all the keyboard inputs. It's a lot going on for PC gaming. And these are all PC gamers that are hanging out. They're not playing a game. And I thought they was going to get to the point. They're just dancing. Like, they're just dancing. They're just hanging out, dancing. I don't know. And then this is where a lot of people find out new music. They be on these games and somebody just playing their music, and then everybody can hear it, and it's not censored because these are private servers. It's not censored because it's copyrighted music, right? And it goes beyond just the music that Grand Theft Auto may license, and it licenses a lot of music when you play the regular game. So these are places that people are finding out fashion. If you look closely, you'll see like real, I don't say real, but real designer clothes like Antisocial Network. You'll see Polo. You'll see Nautica. You'll see Jordans. You know what I'm saying? People can buy Jordans with real money. They spend real money to get the fake GTA money that they can only use in GTA, and they'll use their own real money to buy the cars, to buy the shoes, to buy the guns. It gets crazy, and like I said, and I'm going back to my original point. I'm about to get out of here, but I don't know where the line is between what is a game and what's not a game. So I think this is what I'm watching right now is the closest thing to Ready Player One. If you ever seen that movie or read that book, the movie is not. I've been meaning to read the book, but the movie is okay. The movie starts out good. It gets long. It gets Hollywood blockbustery. I prefer Wreck-It Ralph wrecks the internet, to be honest. But Ready Player One is basically like, hey, real life is kind of effed up, and to get away, we just put on these goggles that's affordable for everybody, and we just kind of live in I think they call it utopia or something like that, this another world. And they just hang out. And then they have these challenges that make it seem like, okay, we're playing a game, but really people are just hanging out. And this is the closest thing we have to it, in my opinion. And do we call it a game? Like, do we call it a game? And so my next episode that I'm going to get more into Grand Theft Auto 6. Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to drop. It's supposed to drop next year, 2025. 2025. I'll be surprised if it's dropped early 2025. It's probably going to drop late 2025. But anyway, when it drops, these questions are going to very much come into view. In that, is this a game, or is this just a place to kind of like? I could see in these environments, like I don't know what he's doing now. I think always ending it, but I could see in these. I can see in these environments people outside of the real world where I'm streaming and actually doing it, that they can start making money inside the game engine. So instead of like, subscribe and link and click on my advertisements and I make money that way, I'm saying that I could see people, and it's probably already happening, but inside the game engine, inside Grand Theft Auto, you can maybe have a store that sells virtual stuff, virtual posters, virtual shoes, virtual designer dresses, right? Virtual things that you can use for all your avatars in all your games. Because I play Rocket League, for instance, and Rocket League either is made by the same people or have a partnership with Fortnite. So certain things I get in Rocket League, I can use in Fortnite. Like certain decals and stuff like that, I can use across games, even though I don't play Fortnite. But I can see that happening. You start kind of making a living in these games, and you wake up at 8 and you kind of like run your business from 8 to 5, but you have to do it in that world. And then there starts to be industries happening in the metaverse. You start happening, I can't even think, it's hard for me to brainstorm about it now, but it'd be a good brainstorm topic for some of my students or anybody else that maybe want to brainstorm. And as I'm here, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Seek me out on social medias, Brandan Craft everywhere. Spell my name with an A, BrandanCraft. I kind of keep it just me on everything. Only thing that I'm not Brandan Craft on is Twitch, and I'm Crizzle8, but I'm not streaming on Twitch or anything. But I do want to start. So anyway, look forward to part 2 when I really get more in depth into what I think about Grand Theft Auto 6 and the implications that may come of that game launching. And I think it may change the world. So anyway, thanks for tuning in for my first summer hour tangents. Hopefully I can do this more often, but the summer is a little more hectic, which seems backwards, but just being the Uber driver to a 8-year-old kind of gets hectic. So I got to get out of here now and go pick him up from basketball camp. So until next time, peace out.